Hi, and welcome to Fostering Conversations, produced by CASA of Southwest Missouri. This is a podcast where we share the real stories of real children navigating the foster care system. Hi, I'm Shelby Blakely, and I'm our training coordinator.
I'm Hannah Wilford, one of the Greene County Advocate Supervisors.
And we are going to listen to a story together about a child navigating the foster care system. So, Hannah, why don't you take us away?
Okay. So this one specifically focuses on the sibling set. Blue and red lights flashed through the blinds. Strangers in uniforms filled the apartment. Questions were asked too quickly. Drawers opened, papers shuffled. Both parents handcuffed before the children could even understand what was happening. The next few hours were a blur. A caseworker sat with the children in a quiet, rundown office, no place a child should ever be. They explained that they were trying to find someone safe for them to stay with. A grandmother, no answer. An uncle, unable. And family friends, not appropriate. By hour 5, the children learned the hard truth. While a top priority, siblings cannot always stay together. There were no homes with enough beds. One child went to a family across town, the baby went somewhere else entirely, and the oldest was placed with strangers in a house that didn't smell like home. While reassured the home was safe, loving, and welcoming, it didn't feel like home. Home was crowded, loud, imperfect, but familiar. This new place was silent. The days turned into weeks, and the foster placements never lasted long. Packing all of their belongings into trash bags each time they moved, a different bed, different rules, different toothbrushes that lined up beside sinks that weren't theirs.
So, can I ask, when they're moving in between all of these other placements, they're still not moving together, right? They're still separated for the most part?
So in these kiddos' lives, that is the case. They were never like moving together, but sometimes children do move because placements have opened up where there's multiple beds available for siblings to be together because that's always the top of the priority is that siblings are together.
Okay, good. That's great to know.
Yes. Sometimes they stopped unpacking altogether. Caseworkers came and went. Some were kind but busy. They gave the same news. We're still searching for a family. We're doing everything we can, and we just need more time. Time felt enormous to a child. At school, they stopped raising their hand. They stopped talking much altogether. Then one afternoon, someone new walked into the visitation room. An older woman who wore bright green earrings and carried a notebook covered in stickers. Instead of asking questions right away, she sat down beside the child on the floor and started coloring. The child looked at her suspiciously. Are you a caseworker? She smiled softly. Nope, I'm your CASA. The child had no idea what that meant, but for the first time, someone stayed long enough to explain. Court appointed special advocate. Someone whose job was to know them, not the paperwork, not the case number or the court dates, but to know them. The CASA showed up again the next week, and the week after that, and after that. They went to school plays, brought cupcakes on birthdays, sat beside them during hard visits, and celebrated small victories like spelling tests and soccer goals. When the child moved to foster homes again, the fourth move since entering care, the CASA helped carry their bags inside.
So, when the CASA is assigned,
hmm
are they assigned to just that child, or were they assigned to the sibling group? And how does that kind of work?
Yeah. So for us, we have this spreadsheet which shows all of the kiddos that are in care. And we ask CASA's preferences, whether they're comfortable with a sibling set, a gender, an age. And we pull cases that we feel will best fit them so that they feel comfortable advocating to the best of their abilities. When kiddos are placed in separate homes, it does make it a little more difficult because we ask that the CASAs see their kiddos at least in the home once per month out of their 2 visits. And so in this case, the CASA did take all the kiddos. She had more availability in her schedule and was able to see all 3 homes. But sometimes it's a priority for an older child versus a baby, if that
Sure.
makes sense.
Yeah. Well, the needs are very different, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, Months later, the CASA walked into the visit beaming with news. They had found someone, an aunt, the mother's sister. She lived a few counties away and had been searching for the children too. The CASA kept asking questions, making phone calls, digging through disconnected relatives and old records until finally someone answered. The reunification process took months, background checks, home visits, court hearings, and more waiting. But the CASA stayed through it all. She explained things before the hearings. She answered late night worries. She reminded the child that none of what had happened was their fault. And finally, after nearly 2 years, all 3 siblings were back together.
2 years?
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Oh my goodness. So they were all even apart for most of that 2 years,
Yeah.
it sounds like. And then finally, when all the pieces came
Mhm.
together, the siblings reunified, but they didn't reunify with their parents. It was with the safe aunt.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And I will say, whenever siblings are separated, sibling visits are a top of the priority for caseworkers in the team because they do understand the importance of siblings being together.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah. For the first time in a long time, they unpacked every bag. While children do not always remember every foster home, caseworker, or court hearing, they remember their CASAs. When everything changed, homes, schools, routines, families, the CASA stayed the same. Children in foster care are moved on average of at least 4 times while in care. Their worlds shift over and over again. They lose bedrooms, classmates, neighbors, teachers, and friends. But a CASA becomes the steady presence children desperately need. They become cheerleaders in courtrooms, tutors at kitchen tables, familiar faces at school plays, and a shoulder to cry on after difficult visits. They remind children that they are more than a case file. They remind them they matter. And sometimes the presence changes the entire course of a child's life. As Josh Shipp states, every kid is one caring adult away from being a success story. Be the caring adult, that one person who changes a kid's life with a simple, consistent, caring act. It starts with you, and it can start now.
Ooh, I love that quote.
I know. He has a whole, podcast on his one caring adult, and it's really, inspirational.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, and it works so parallel and so
Mhm.
hand in hand with what we do for sure.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so that consistency of that CASA
Mhm.
hitting the ground running, trying again and again to find a placement because the caseworkers weren't finding placements that could adopt them within the system.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, because who else has the time?
I know. Professional Facebook stalkers sometimes.
Literally. Little FBI agent on the side. Perfect. Well, thanks for sharing so much.
Yeah, of course.
Our next portion of the episode is a great example of how our courtroom works. Our judge loves that personal touch. And so connecting with the children when they're in the courtroom is really important to him. And so we always share a little joke, just like he asks the kids to share a joke. So we're going to listen to a little joke.
It's my favorite part.
Where does Dracula keep his money? In a blood bank.
Yeah, that'll work for me.
Yeah, that's good.
That's a point.
Goofy.
Well, thanks so much for learning with us today. We are another episode down.
Another child's future up.
Bye.